Qincheng Prison holds China's most powerful and most dangerous prisoners. Built with Soviet help in 1958, this maximum security fortress has no bars, no screams, and no escape. Housing former ministers, military leaders, and billionaires who once ruled China's elite circles, Qincheng isn't just a prison, it's a political weapon. Surveillance is constant. Inmates live in total isolation, and even their guards don't know their names. With over 5,000 high-profile detainees throughout its dark history, this prison tells a chilling story the Chinese government doesn't want you to hear. Welcome to the hidden world of Qincheng. The gateway to Qincheng Prison. Hidden away in the suburban hills of Beijing's Changping district is Qincheng Prison. This facility's unassuming entrance is guarded by uniformed officers armed with cutting-edge surveillance technology. The approach road is lined with discreet signs warning travelers that they're entering a restricted area. Unlike many prisons, Qincheng doesn't loom with dramatic watchtowers visible from miles away. It conceals itself behind thick foliage and winding roads, as though trying to erase its own existence. Officially, Qincheng is under the administration of China's Ministry of Public Security and has been operational since 1958. Over the decades, it has earned a reputation for being one of the most secretive and secure prisons in the world. In a country with more than 1 billion people, Qincheng holds only a fraction of them, but their names often carry tremendous weight. While it may not boast the sheer scale of some Western mega-prisons, Qincheng's secrecy and high-profile roster give it a mythical status. Rumors swirl about its sprawling underground chambers, advanced surveillance networks, and living conditions that range from harsh austerity for some inmates to surprising comfort for others. To understand why Qincheng exists in its current form, we need to travel back to the late 1950s. Relations between China and the Soviet Union were strong. Soviet engineers helped design and construct Qincheng as part of a broader cooperation project. The prison initially detained political dissidents, individuals labeled counter-revolutionaries during the tumultuous era of Chairman Mao Zedong's leadership. Over the years, Qincheng became synonymous with elite, high-stakes incarceration, featuring an inmate list that reads like a who's who of Chinese political life. By the late 1960s and early 70s, during the Cultural Revolution, the prison saw a surge of new entrants. Some were members of the Gang of Four, the most powerful political faction at the time. Others were generals or officials who had lost internal power struggles. This pattern of housing disgraced elites continued even after Mao's death, through the eras of Deng Xiaoping, Jiang Zemin, Hu Jintao, and now Xi Jinping. Whenever a high-ranking official was purged for corruption or political misconduct, whispers would swirl, "They've been sent to Qincheng." It wasn't merely the prison's political significance that set it apart. It was the stark contrast between Qincheng and typical Chinese detention centers. While ordinary inmates across China might share cramped cells, lacking basic hygiene and safety, Qincheng's facilities were rumored to be comparatively luxurious for elite detainees. Yet for those on the wrong side of the power divide, stories also abound of grueling interrogations, long periods of solitary confinement, and heavily restricted communication with the outside world. The prison's very nature, off-limits to journalists, activists, and most government officials, had led to an information vacuum filled by conjecture, leaked accounts, and unconfirmed reports. Much like El Salvador's stance on its mega-prison, China's leadership has its own philosophy: maintain complete control over any individual who challenges the Communist Party's authority. This doesn't only apply to crooked officials, it can also include outspoken intellectuals, dissidents, and activists who publicly criticize party policies. The overarching strategy is straightforward: identify threats, isolate them from society, and keep them under such tight surveillance that any possibility of organized dissent disappears. This approach extends beyond Qincheng. China's vast security apparatus includes an extensive network of surveillance cameras, internet censorship, and neighborhood committees that monitor local residents. For those who slip through these nets and pose a genuine threat to the state, Qincheng awaits. Here, behind multiple layers of physical and bureaucratic barriers, detainees are stripped of almost all contact with the outside world. In the eyes of the Chinese government, These methods are justified by the country's historical experiences. Decades of internal strife, from warlord conflicts to the Cultural Revolution, taught authorities that social stability is precarious. By housing potential disruptors or disloyal officials in Qincheng, the state believes it can avert chaos. A day inside Qincheng Prison. So what's daily life like for an inmate here? Because of the limited official information, much of what we know comes from former detainees or leaked accounts. While these stories vary, a few consistent themes emerge. Unlike ordinary prisons where inmates might share dormitory-style cells, many Qincheng prisoners reside in smaller, isolated units, especially if they are deemed high risk. Official accounts claim these cells are well lit, ventilated, and occasionally even heated during harsh Beijing winters. But detainee memoirs speak of bare concrete floors, narrow windows, and sparse furnishings, basically a bed, a desk, and a toilet. Comfort might be relative here. Some VIP inmates allegedly have better bedding, dietary options, or access to reading materials, while others endure the starkest of environments. Early morning wake-ups are followed by head counts and a basic breakfast, usually rice porridge and steamed buns. Outside of their cells, inmates may participate in highly controlled activity sessions, but these are rarely outdoors and often take place in enclosed, walled-in courtyards shielded from public view. Unlike prisons with yard time or group exercises, Qincheng's schedule is all about control and minimizing any potential for collective organization. Meals come on metal trays slipped through a slot, and guards meticulously check that each tray returns intact. No secret notes, no hidden objects. External contact is exceptionally restricted. Family visits, if allowed at all, occur under heavy supervision. Letters are meticulously screened. Phone calls? Virtually non-existent for most inmates. Some detainees, particularly those who have confessed or cooperated with authorities, might earn privileges to write an occasional letter or read state-approved newspapers. But for dissidents who won't bend, isolation is near total. Lawyers, when they're granted access, face numerous hurdles, including mandatory escorts and time-limited visits in special rooms under audio and video recording. In addition to guards patrolling corridors, Qincheng is rumored to employ advanced monitoring technology, from ceiling-mounted cameras to movement detectors. This ensures that every action is observed and logged. For correctional staff, the daily routine includes constant vigilance against any potential disruptions. Given that many inmates held here are politically connected, even an innocuous letter could spark trouble beyond the prison walls. The mantra for prison authorities is simple: no surprises, no leaks, no escape. Security protocols. Qincheng's security system is a labyrinth of physical barriers and bureaucratic scrutiny. Picture a fortress surrounded by tall, concrete walls, topped with razor wire, with patrolled perimeters day and night. Armed police units staff entry points, equipped with body scanners, fingerprint ID systems, and facial recognition cameras, a hallmark of China's advanced surveillance capabilities. One of Qincheng's defining traits is the layered checkpoint system. Visitors, limited to pre-approved government personnel or specially authorized family members, must pass multiple secure zones. Each zone has locked gates, requiring digital clearance and a show of credentials. Once inside, visitors are usually confined to designated areas, never allowed to see the broader prison complex. There is no wandering around, no accidental glimpses of other inmates, and no chance of unplanned conversations. In theory, Qincheng's geographical location in Beijing's outskirts means an escapee would have a tough time vanishing undetected into the surrounding terrain. There are stories, unverified of course, suggesting that subterranean sensors can pick up attempts to dig tunnels or disrupt the outer walls. Even if that's mere speculation, it's clear that any break for freedom from Qincheng would be national news in a state where controlling the narrative is paramount. To date, no modern record of a successful escape from Qincheng has ever surfaced. So who populates Qincheng's cells? Well, they're high-ranking Communist Party officials convicted of corruption, like former Politburo members who suddenly fell from grace. Military generals accused of plotting against the party. Business tycoons who got entangled in political battles too large to contain. Activists who championed democracy, human rights, or ethnic minority rights sometimes end up here too, though official statements often deny this. Imagine a man who once commanded armies or made billion-dollar deals, now confined to a silent cell, pondering decisions that led to his downfall. Some inmates reportedly keep diaries to maintain a grip on reality. Others engage in quiet reflection or rely on permitted books to pass the time. Then there are the forgotten inmates, individuals with lesser-known names who may have been swept up in broader crackdowns on dissent. They don't have the fame or family connections to negotiate better conditions, so they languish in anonymity. Human rights advocates worry that these lesser-known prisoners face harsher treatment with fewer chances of release or fair trials. Every so often, a family member might speak out online or overseas, but such voices are often silenced. Despite Qincheng's aura of unbreakable isolation, small information windows do leak out. Occasionally, a former inmate will write a memoir or pass on their experiences after release, though many remain silent out of fear. So what do you think about Qincheng Prison? Let us know in the comments and don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing content.